Okay, so the first thing you want to do is open up the folder called Ops Runtime Copy. Well, it won't say copy, it'll say just runtime. You'll want to navigate into that, and you'll see inside there'll be a folder. Right now it says it's untitled, but it'll say runtime version, and you want to double click on the app or the executable. Once you've done that, you'll get this FileMaker window to pop open. It'll have the main window here. You'll see that there's the option to put your school name in there, and you should initialize and tailor each one of your runtime versions for the particular school. So we might call this school A. Put the name of the school that you're going to put in there, and then the operator. It's really important that you keep track of who's operating the FileMaker database at each instance that it's being used. We know that this is going to be a really important thing for you to do if one of the operators is using FileMaker incorrectly. This will allow you to track exactly who needs to make some adjustments to their operations. Also, right here, you can turn off and on the help mode, and you'll learn real quickly that you'll want to turn that off after you've learned some of the basics of FileMaker. By turning that off, it stops the little message bubbles from showing up, and it'll make it much faster to work through it. For now, we'll just leave that on so that it looks like what it looks like when you first start. Alright, so if you hit continue, see there's that little message. That will not appear after you've turned off the help mode. You can hit OK. That'll bring you through, brings you to the main window here, and you can see we have got a whole list of options for us to work with. The first thing you can do is use the find. So if kids were to come in to Project Options and they say, yeah, my last name is Brown, you might type Brown into this window here, and it has the little magnifying glass here showing that you're in the find mode. And you do that and you hit return, and it says no record. So there's nobody named Brown that's in the consent database. But it brings you right back to the view windows. You have to hit find again, and there's that little window. So let's say we want to see if there's a Wagner in the database. Yes, there is, and you can see right here Eric Wagner has consent. Okay, so let's say Eric Wagner was going to be one of our subjects, and he has consent, so we're good to go. We would press down here. This would be the first contact date, the day that they came in and wanted to find out if they could participate. Usually that'll also be the same day that it's their first session if they have consent, and an RA would press this button right here, and a bunch of good things will happen once you've done that. The date's automatically filled in, which it's still editable, so if it happened to be a day later, we can come back and change that. And the subject ID is automatically assigned. The assignment of the ID is based on date and a sequential addition to the participant list as we go through. Automatically generated are the dates for follow-up. 4-week follow-up, we'll be looking to get between 328 and 411, although this range here has to be approved by the PIs, but the first day of 4 weeks is 328 for this participant. The last thing that an RA would have to press is down here, which is a record of all the sessions in which they're participating, and there's a little field here for any special notes. Now, one thing I missed was filling out this field for gender. So Eric is a male, so we will put male there, and we're ready. So we could also go ahead and do a find for the next person, and let's say that this is, let's look for an Anderson. See if there's an Anderson. Well, there is. There's one Anderson. Actually, up here there's four. You can see that there's 4 Andersons, and this is the trick. You have to keep an eye out for it. There's a second one, and by clicking through this Rolodex little icon, we can see who they all are. And Phoebe Anderson is the person who is standing in front of us right now, and she's female. She has consent. This is her first session. Check her in. She's ready to go. Okay. So then we go to the next person, and let's say my son is wanting to sign up, and we say, there we go. I'm not going to use his first name because it's unusual. So I say find up, but he's got no consent. But what I might want to do is then quickly go back over here to set up a new data entry. Why is that not working? Okay, so to go back to the data entry, let's go back to find, and we'll see if we get stuck here. You can't really go to new because it's a new find, but what you have to do is hit enter, and then this will allow you to hit cancel, and that brings you back to the entry forms. And I can now do a new entry. If they're not in the consent database, you do have to re-enter their name twice. So let's say here, first contact is today. We don't fill out anything else because he is not in the consent data set and he should not be participating. Alright. Now, this is pretty much the whole functionality for the check-in. What you're also going to want to know about is some other functionality that we have in here for setting up lists of participants who are due next week for follow-ups, or finding those people that are past due. So right here we might say who's past due for their follow-ups, and this should give you a list by clicking this up here. And that's interesting. I don't think that they should be past due. We'll have to check that out and make that work. But you would click here to get a list of past due, and you get a click here for the group of people who should be due in the coming week. Okay. There actually are a few other things here that we can toss in. Of course, you want to add their email address into this contact list. If they're filling some cards out or filling this out by hand as they're waiting in line, this can be entered in as the session is progressing or after the session. So, you know, myemail@gmail.com, that could be the email address, and then 666. There's your, oh, got that nice, it's already preset. So we also have a place for you to keep track of if they've done their 4-week follow-up and whether or not they have gotten their gift cards for their particular follow-up. So you can fill that out here. One other thing I'd like to show you is if you make a mistake and you maybe think you're in the find mode and you're not, and you're still on top of a record, and you enter something incorrectly in a particular field. Oops, I look like I just did that. See right here, I added Nathan to this person's record, and we don't want to change the first name of this person. If you come to the upper right and press revert record, you can revert to where you were before. This is going to be a handy button when you're first getting familiar with this process in FileMaker.